Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and welcome to the 11th episode of my Rails of Industry Minecraft series. In today's episode, I'm going to set up a small applied energistics system to make processors so that in the future I can actually make bigger and more a bigger and more advanced applied energistics system. So let's get started. The first thing I need to do is I need to make some inscribers, and the inscribers are made with a recipe like this. The flukes crystals we can make here in a second. I have the pistons made, and I actually have the slime made as well. And actually, let me show you how I made the slime. So if we can... okay, so what I did is in the centrifugal separator, I used magma slime that I got while hunting a few episodes back. And that separates down into blaze powder and slime balls. So the centrifugal separator is one of the two machines that I have made between episodes. I have also made the phytogenic isolator, which I am using to get the pure flux crystals. And let's show off the recipes real fast for the centrifugal separator and the phytogenic isolator. So the centrifugal separator is made like this. It's copper, redstone reception coil, machine frame, a compass, which is that in Constantin, which is a pretty simple alloy of nickel and copper. And then the phytogenic isolator is also not too difficult to make. The phytogenic isolator is made with aluminum gear, which I made aluminum on camera before, the machine frame, some dirt, copper gears, and the redstone reception coil. The phytogenic isolator generally is used to grow things such as seeds, and it can be used for trees, I believe, as well. Vanilla trees, that is. So, yeah, that's what that's for. So let's get back to the inscriber. I need to turn 10 of these pistons into sticky pistons because I would like to make 5 inscribers for today's episode. Let's go back to the recipe. I'm going to need some iron ingots as well as some flux crystals. To make flux crystals, we need nether quartz, redstone, and charged certus in equal quantities. So actually, let's save a few of the charged certus over here, because I might need a little bit later, but for each one of these you get 2 of the flux crystals. So since I used 40 of each of them, I should get 80 flux crystals back, which is going to be far more than enough for today's episode. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of the stuff that we don't need for right now. And then let's take a look at the inscriber recipe. Like I said, I need some iron, so let's grab that. And then let's make 5 of these guys. So there we go. There's the inscriber. Right now, what I need to do is I need to plunk one of these guys down so that I can actually start making things with them. So let's grab the inscriber presses that I have, and let's also grab diamonds, pure certus quartz, which I should probably show you how to make, silicone, which I should probably also show you how to make, and then some redstone. Let's get rid of the flux crystals for right now. I might need some of those later, but let's take a look at the pure certus recipe first off. So I made a bunch of these off camera, and what you can do is you can use a phytogenic isolator, which is not really what I did. What I did was I took certus quartz, I put it into a pulverizer to get the certus quartz dust, which I then combined with sand to get the certus quartz seeds. And then what you do is, this doesn't have a recipe, but what you do is you throw those seeds in water, and over the course of a few hours, they grow into the pure certus quartz crystals. And the flux seeds can also be thrown in water the same way to grow pure flux crystals as well. It's just a lot faster to use a phytogenic isolator, so that's why I whipped up one of these before the episode and got that started. Because even with a phytogenic isolator, it still takes quite a while to get these things done. But I only need 4 of them for today's episode, so we should be good. So for the inscriber, finally. There are 4 different presses, and they use 4 different ingredients here, and that's the logic, this is the calculation, and the engineering press uses diamonds. So let's show that real fast. What we can do is we throw in the inscriber calculation press with a pure certus and then we get a printed calculation circuit. If we do the engineering press with the diamond, we'll get engineering circuit, I think it's called, and then so on and so forth here. But the important thing is we can actually use these to make processors for the mod. So the processors are going to be things that we need quite a lot of, especially the logic processors. We need them to do a lot of things, including the formation cores and the annihilation cores. The formation cores and annihilation cores are used in the export buses and the import buses, which I am going to need for this episode. So let's see here. Let's get that going. I think one thing I might do as a temporary measure here is let's dig this out, and I'm actually going to lay down some leadstone flux duct. I'm going to grab the rest of my inscribers. So what I'm going to do to speed things up, and this is completely temporary, is I'm going to put my inscribers down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do silicon press, I'm going to do logic, calculation, and then engineering. And then what I should be able to do is I should be able to grab some hoppers, and I have a couple. Let's make a couple more. And I need iron. I have iron with me. So let's make a couple more hoppers, and the recipe for hoppers is that right there. Pretty easy. So what I should be able to do is I should grab my hoppers, and I should be able to hop in, and I have to hop in from the side because the inscriber is sided. The top is this slot right here, the sides is this slot right here, and this slot right here, and the bottom is this slot right here. So for the silicon press, if I throw in silicon in here, it should go ahead and whip these things up. And then same thing with the logic here, the calculation right here, and then the engineering right here, diamonds. So to actually make these things into processors, what we need is we need three things. We need one of the circuits. So I have the logic circuit right there. We need redstone, and then we need a silicon. So if we combine those three things, we get a processor. So we can actually flip a few of the ingredients around. We can flip the top circuit and the bottom circuit. It doesn't really matter. What I mean by that is we can put the silicon on top and then the logic circuit on bottom, and this will still work fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for these to make a bunch of the printed circuits off camera, because that's just going to take a while. Meanwhile, while that's going on, I'm going to go ahead and make a lot of the logic processors. I'll probably do some of the engineering processors and some of the calculation processors as well. And once I have a good amount of all of these processors made, I will be right back. So I have as many processors made as I think I'll need for today's episode. So I ripped out the inscribers and I put the dirt back. But the next step is actually going to be me digging down, because I need a place to put this system that I'm about to build. So what better place than to just put it underground where I can't see it, and it will be out of my way. So that's just what I'm going to do. So let's... Actually, if I dig over here, it gives me an access point. So that's kind of nice. Honestly, this should be more than enough room. Oh, I totally forgot about my water over here. So let's, yeah, let's do that. And also, let's rehook this back up. You know what? I probably have enough room by now. So let's put a torch down, and let's figure out exactly how we are first going to power this thing. I would actually like to use an energy cell with a lever, so that's just what I'm going to do. So let's actually get rid of this right here, because water does not need power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place an energy cell right here. I'm going to have it on the redstone level high, so that it is activated with a redstone signal only. What we're going to do is we're going to have everything be insert, except to the bottom we'll have as an out. And then right here I'm going to place a lever, which I have right here. So when I flip this lever on, it will allow the energy cell to be active, and therefore it will allow the system I'm about to build to be powered. So the first thing I need to make is an ME controller. And this is actually an item that is not strictly needed to make an ME system, but to make a larger ME system it is. So that's what we're going to do next. These skystone blocks are really easy to make. All you do is take skystone and smelt it. I've already done that. I also have the pure flux crystals ready. So let's dump some of the things we don't need right now. Some of this waste. And then here's some skystone. I only need 4 of it because I only need to make 1 of the ME controller blocks. So let's get 1 of those. I do not want 4 of them. So there we go. And the ME controller block, you know what, let's put it right here. So if we flip this lever, the ME controller block should light up, which means it's receiving power and it's good to go. So that's awesome. Let's flip that lever back off and let's continue here. The next thing I need is I'm going to need some flux cable, and let's see what the recipe for that is. It is quartz fiber with flux crystals. I have plenty of flux crystals, so let's grab some quartz fiber. To make quartz fiber, I believe it's just another quartz and glass. So that's going to be way more than I need, but I think the recipe is something like this. Apparently I'm wrong about that. Okay, so, okay. That's not a problem. I have some quartz over here. So let's grab that. Let's go ahead and use the crushed quartz. I have more of it than the Certus quartz dust. So let's go ahead and now let's try this. There we go. That's going to be more than enough. And then we can go ahead and put this back. Let's grab some flux crystals. And I don't want to use too many of them. Let's go ahead and use 30 for right now. And I think the recipe is shapeless, so there we go. That is 60, and that's going to be more than enough, I believe. So what I'm going to do now is I need to find a place where I can put the terminal. Let's actually place the terminal over here. So I haven't built the terminal yet, but that's it's basically the GUI access point. Yeah, that'll be good. And then let's actually make the ME drive and the ME terminal. So let's take a look at those recipes. So first, the ME drive, I believe it's a little bit easier to craft. Yes, a lot easier to craft. So the ME drive will go right here. And let's get a storage cell as well, because we need some type of storage for the items that will be in there. So first off, let's do this, and let's not use the charged Certus. Let's grab regular Certus for that recipe, because they are interchangeable in this particular recipe. I do not want to waste my charged Certus, because that is something I don't have a whole lot of. Okay, so there's that, and then if we right click, if we do a recipe that involves this. Okay, so I need quartz glass. I do need some crushed quartz and some glass for that. I do have a little bit of glass with me, but it's not going to be enough. Okay, so that should be good. And this will give me more crushed quartz than I believe I need, but that's okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I think the recipe is... Okay, so I got those mixed up, I think. So I need... and that should be the quartz glass. There we go. So let's get rid of this excess glass. And now we can make a storage cell. And there's the recipe right there. And so what this does is this basically holds the items in storage. And there we go. So now we have a little bit of storage there. So let's get an ME terminal going. That way I can see what I'm doing, or I can pull items out of the system and everything. So first off, we're going to need some formation cores and annihilation cores. So they are recipes like this. I do want to use regular I should probably grab some regular Stardust and some regular nether quartz here. I do want to make quite a few of these because later on I'm going to be making some export buses and import buses, and they do need these cores. So, okay, so I was thinking that maybe I have some ground up fluids somewhere. I do, but I don't have enough. So let's get a little bit more going. I'm definitely going to want more in this episode. So let's do 24 more. Unless I did it over here for some reason. No, I didn't. Okay, so let's go ahead and make some of the cores here. And actually, I might have enough of the flukes. It's gonna be tight. Okay, so now we have the cores. We do need an illuminated panel, and that's actually pretty easy. I just need some glowstone. I should have some laying around somewhere. It's probably in this chest. Yes. Okay, so let's see here. There we go, and then I should be able to make a terminal. So fantastic. So what we need to do now is one more flux cable here, and then we can place the terminal here. So down here is going to be where I'm going to have some inscribers, or my inscribers I should say. So let's go ahead and start placing them, and it doesn't really matter where they go. Except for one of them kind of needs to be off of a wall so that I can access the backside, because I need access to a lot of the sides of one of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the presses that I have, because I need to actually place them in the inscribers here. So this one can be silicon, this one can be logic, this one can be the calculation, and this one can be the engineering press. So now I need to start making some buses. So let's get on that. I need export buses and import buses. I need 8 export buses. And I actually do have pistons, so that's awesome. Need 8 of these. And then I'm actually going to need a few more sticky pistons, I think. So let me get on that, because I believe I need some more slime for the import buses. So let's see what the import bus recipe is. Yes, I need, I have 2 slime here, but I actually need 4, or 6, I mean. Okay, so we're almost there. There we go. So let's go ahead and make these 6 sticky pistons, and then I can go ahead and make the import buses. Wait. Why did it only make 2? What am I at? I'm out of iron. Okay, so let's grab some more iron. And I believe that should be enough. I'm about done making stuff for the episode. Okay, so there's the 4 import buses. Okay, so for the inscribers here, the output is actually a side. So this needs to be top, this is bottom, or this is top, this is a side, this is bottom, this is also a side. So for the export buses over here, let's go ahead and do this. So we can put the export buses right here. And why I'm doing this is so that I can auto make the processors. So for this one over here, I actually need to export in the top, the side, and the bottom. So that's not actually a problem. And actually, it might be easier if I dig down one more and do this. So there's export buses. And then, okay, so do I have all the export buses set up? I do. So the import buses are just on the sides as well. And there we go. And so what I need to do is I need to hook these up to the ME controller in some way. So how we're going to do that is, for these over here, let's just do this side right here. For these over here, we can do this side. And that should all be hooked up. And then for these over here, okay, so I need to be aware of my channels. In case you're not familiar with the Applied Energistics mod, These basic cables, they are able to hold what are called 8 channels, are channels, and there are 8 of them. Each thing that is connected up takes up a channel. So the ME drive takes up one channel, the ME terminal takes up another channel. So I have 2 of my 8 channels over here taken up. Each of the buses also takes up a channel, so this is 4 more channels right here. I do have enough channels, so let's go ahead and hook this up. And we can do it. And actually, that's not what I intended, but that'll work. It doesn't really matter. So that everything should be hooked up. The next thing I need to do is I need to set up the export buses. So for the silicon press, I just need to export silicon, and I don't know if I have any more silicon. I made more silicon, that's right. So how you make silicon, and I don't think I explained this, so I probably should, is you take nether quartz, you pulverize it into crushed quartz right here, and then you furnace the crushed quartz and then make silicon. At least that's how I did it. There are a couple of other ways to acquire silicon, but that's in my mind the easiest. So what we're going to do over here is the silicon needs to go in here, so we're going to set up the export bus to export silicon. Over here we have the logic press that needs gold, so let's actually, I need to grab gold. I need to grab all my stuff. So let's actually get rid of the processors and these things that I have, so that I can grab some gold, some diamonds, and some of the pure quartz. So here's some diamonds, here's some gold, and I do have redstone on me because I will need that later. And then I should have a few of the pure quartz left. I do. They're in my inventory already. So like I said, this is the logic press. It needs gold, so we'll set up this export bus to export gold. Over here we have the calculation press that needs the pure Certus, so we'll set that up on the export bus here. And then this is the engineering press, and that requires diamonds, so let's do that. Okay, so for this last one's a little bit trickier. So in the top we're going to do our circuits. We can't do those quite yet. In the side we're going to do redstone, and in the bottom we'll have the silicon. And I don't have any of those printed circuits with me, or the printed silicon. So there we go. Actually, for right now, I could do one of the circuits. So let's tell this to do the gold circuits for right now. And so when I flip this lever, what should happen is the system should become active. So anytime I throw, and let's change this. Anytime I throw gold, diamonds, redstone, or silicon into the system, it should, or pure quartz, it should export those things into the proper inscribers, and then it should make the proper printed circuit. So if I throw in gold, we should see this tick down to 17, and then here in a second we should see a printed logic circuit come into the system via the import bus. So there we go. So if we throw in a redstone dust and a printed silicon circuit here, those should go into the one inscriber, and it should make a processor. And where are you? Okay, so it's just, oh, I know what's missing. So one last thing is these inscribers actually need a source of power. The other inscribers have their source of power through another connection of the Fluix cable here. So these are hit by the top, so they get their power from the top. I did not give this thing power, so what I need to do is I need to do this. So there we go. Now it has power. Now it's going. So that should make a printed circuit. Awesome. So this is going to make things a lot easier. When I need circuits in the future, I just dump the things into the terminal here, and I will quickly get a bunch of circuits. Or not quickly, but quickly compared to as if I were to do this manually. So that's pretty awesome. The last thing I need to do is I need to make a card, and I think it's called a capacity card, and that's because I want this inscriber over here to be able to make more than just the logic processors. I want it to be able to make all 3 of the different types of processors. So I need a capacity card. And okay, so let's get that going. Do we have everything we need? I need gold ingots. I need a couple of gold ingots. And then I think that'll be everything I need. Okay, so there's that, and then the capacity card. And I should only need one of them. What the capacity card does is, as we see right here, I can only export one thing with this bus. However, if I throw in the capacity card over here, I will be able to export 3 different things, or 5 different things actually. So let's grab the other circuits. And now, after we set this up, it will be able to make all of the 3 different types of processors, which is fantastic. So the last thing I should do is I should throw in some more silicon and some more redstone. That way it can go ahead and make those processors. So I'm going to do just that. I should have a little bit more silicon over here somewhere. So there we go. Let's throw all of this stuff into the system. Silicon, the redstone, and there we go. I think that's a pretty completed build. So in today's episode, I set up this applied energistics system. It is just basically so that I can make processors for the mod applied energistics. And so anytime in the future I need to make processors, all I need to do is dump the ingredients for the said processor into this terminal here, and it will automatically make those processors. As we can see right now, it's chugging along, making a bunch of logic processors, and then after it's done with the printed logic circuits, it will move on to the other processors as well. So that's pretty fantastic. Anyways, if you liked today's episode, definitely give it a like. If you enjoy watching automation in modern Minecraft, such as this system right here, definitely consider subscribing to my channel, because that's kind of what I do. Anyways, signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.